Rolling.
I got it. Alright. Good evening. My name is Francisco Grajeda, and this is my informal speech on Down syndrome. So the way it works is that every human body has cells, and in those cells there's a nucleus. In the nucleus there's genes. In the genes they're made up of 23 chromosomes, or the genes are carrying our genetic links that we inherit from our parents. The genes carry 23 chromosomes, and on the 21st chromosome, what Down syndrome does, it'll either multiply it or multiply it by half. Some of the physical main characteristics of Down syndrome are a crease in the palm, the middle of the palm, low muscle tone, flattened face, and an upward slant in the eyes. Some of the intellectual characteristics are mild to moderate cognitive disability, and about half of them are also born with a heart defect. How common is it? 400,000 Americans right now have Down syndrome, and 6,000 of them are born every single year. There are also 3 different types of the syndrome right now known to us, which is 97% of it is non-disjunction, 1% is mosaicism, and 4% is translocation. The likelihood of having a child with Down syndrome is 1 in 691, and that'll only increase as you get older. If you have a child right now at the age of 20, it'll be 1 in 2,000 of the child having the syndrome, versus being 45 and having a child where it's a 1 in 3,000 chance or 300 chance of the child having the Down syndrome. If you have a relative with the syndrome, your child is not so much, the chances of having Down syndrome for your child isn't going to increase at all. It's just at random. And but if you have a child, previously have a child that has Down syndrome, and you have another one, the chances of your next child having the syndrome will increase by 1%, and if you grow older, it'll increase even more. Some of the diagnostics of having Down syndrome or diagnosing it are there's 2 ways of doing it, either by screening or an actual diagnostics of the embryo. Screening is a simple blood sample that'll not as accurate as the diagnostics, but it's somewhat accurate, and it'll let you know if your child will or not have Down syndrome. The diagnostics, which is a little more lethal because it has a 1% chance of having a miscarriage on your embryo, but it's 100% accurate and actually telling you if your child will have Down syndrome or not. As of now, scientists have made huge improvements on Down syndrome itself by having a 10 years span to the average lifespan of somebody with Down syndrome, which is now 19 to 20 years. Some are even living up to 60 and over that. There are many organizations right now that are working with Down syndrome and helping people with it live lives normally and actually live on their own and not have to rely on other people like most of them do. And that's my informal speech. Thank you for your attention, and good night.